up there, up in the sky. See how strong and steady the kite flies far above us? Look up and watch it fly. It is only a kite, but it is designed by men, put together and launched by men. Look up and see what is happening now. There. Do you see the bird? The bird is nature's creature. God's creature, so-called. What does it mean when a bird cannot fly against the wind, but the kite can fly? Well, I'll tell you what it means. As man makes the kite fly higher than the creatures of God, so man can put together the perfect society in which to live. A society which does not recognize God or any power above man, except the state which is created by men.
It will never happen in our country.
Huh? Huh? I heard what you said, Burhan. You are one of those old-fashioned conservatives who opposes my comrades as we fight for progress. Progress through change to an all-powerful government that will not recognize God.
I do not think that change to a godless society is any sort of progress at all. Inshallah, it will never happen here.
Hamid, do you remember the old tales of Nasr-ed-din Hodja?
What if I do?
Once the Hodja learned that men are better off when they humble their petty plans and actions to the will of God and keep religious faith as part of their lives. I will tell you this story, Hamid, and hope that you are wise enough to learn from Nasr-ed-din Hodja. As much as we respect his memory, it must be admitted that sometimes Nasr-ed-din Hodja had stubborn and defiant moods. For example, one night he declared,
"If it rains tomorrow, I will go out cutting wood. But if the weather is fine, I will go plowing in the field."
His good wife reminded him,
"Say Inshallah by the grace of God when you make such plans."
But the Hodja scoffed at this.
When a smart man makes up his mind to do something, he can do it. Inshallah or no inshallah. I will either cut wood or go plowing.
The next morning, the weather was more or less stormy. Sometimes more, sometimes less. When he finally decided it was rather more than less, the Hodja took up his axe and started off. As was his habit, the Hodja took his time, and before cutting any firewood, he thought he would sit down and rest in the shade of a walnut tree.
Inshallah, indeed. What wisdom has God who makes great pumpkins, each one as big as a pumpkin, grow on thin little vines, while walnuts, each one no bigger than a walnut, grow on this mighty tree? How much better if pumpkins grew on the tree and tiny walnuts on the vine?
Allah Akbar! I have sinned. I repent. Never again will I question the wisdom of divine providence. Why, if pumpkins grew on that tree instead of walnuts, my bald head would have been squashed like a melon.
Then, as if by divine order, one of the emperor's guards suddenly appeared, demanding that Nasr-ed-din guide him to a distant city. The Hodja protested loudly, but in vain.
I have to cut firewood, and I'm not sure of the way to the city. Besides, it's going to rain.
But the Emperor's guard would not be put off. And so they started on their way, with the Hodja muttering,
This must be my punishment. But I have repented. I have.
All alone in the late hours of that night, the Hodja's wife wondered how long it could possibly take to cut firewood. The Hodja had been gone far too long. But soon her wait was over.
Open! Open, wife! Who is it? It is I, Nasr-ed-din, the Hodja. Inshallah! Inshallah, I have come home. Inshallah.
And so this story of Nasr-ed-din Hodja shows that men are better off when they live with faith in God.
Now, Effendi, do you see that kite of mine? It flies where no bird can fly. What men make together is superior to nature and to God.
Again you are wrong, Hamid. Even in this little example, your kite flies higher than the bird. Yes, but it flies only at a time of violence, when the wind chances to be rushing wildly. And even then, to stay up at all, the kite must be chained to its master by a cord. It has no freedom at all. It is typical of what men create, things of violence and chain.
Nonsense. Look at it flying. It's better, I tell you. Can't you see it is?
Hamid will not listen to you, Effendi.
The young radicals will not listen, nor will they learn until their godless society comes down upon their heads. Look up there, as the rushing wind begins to die. The air is growing peaceful again. What man made is gone. Ah, but there is still life in the sky. Inshallah, there always will be.